Hello, hello, hello. Hello, wives. Happy Self-Care Sunday. I'm way out here. Happy Self-Care Sunday. Me and this light got this thing going on, honey. How y'all doing today? Y'all probably like, Coach T, where you been, girl? Where you been? Listen, it's been a weekend, honey. Happy Self-Care Sunday. I wanted to stop by. I was not going to let the weekend go by without me coming by and saying something to y'all. Actually, this is a true fact. God gave me my message on Thursday as far as what I thought at that time. I thought that's what I was supposed to be sharing. Because it was just flowing. Like, I hadn't wrote everything up, had everything prepared and ready. I'm like, okay, let's go. But y'all know things can change. And this have been a very, very different type of week. And so that's what happened. Some things changed. And I think I'm still going to share some of those things that I originally was supposed to share. But God just added some more stuff. This weekend has been amazing. Filled with much revelation, wisdom. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing what God is getting ready to do. For the ones that he's getting ready to reach. Praying for this word to go forth and it does not return back void. Praying for God to just do what it is that he wants to do. Now, what didn't happen to this child? What didn't happen? What I done do? I done changed something. I done hit something. They done flipped. You see that? This is what I'm saying. Is that normal? Anyhow, so God's going to do what he's going to do. And so my prayer is that, his word come forth and that this message reaches the wife that it needs to reach. Y'all see the title. That was not my original title. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. That was not my original title. But after hanging out this weekend with the mister, God brought forth some revelation, brought forth some different things. And so y'all know I got some transparency up in there for y'all. But more than anything, this live today is really to just remind wives that God can reach your husband. Like, God can reach your husband. And so on that note, welcome. My name is Coach T. For some of the ones who may not know me. I am a mental health wife coach and marriage consultant. I coach wives who are in a season of marital hardship, marital challenges, marital separation. Many of the wives that I coach are going through a very difficult season in their marriage. Maybe they're dealing with a husband that's dealing with, adultery, addiction, abandonment, or maybe that wife is suffering, with some mental and emotional distress. And so I coach that wife to help her to confront her grief, and then focus on healing in the most healthiest way, right? So that she may be effective in other areas of her life, all right? Because this journey is all about movement, which is something that I wanted to highlight today. So welcome. Y'all know we've been on this journey with the book Becoming. I don't even have the book down here. But I did, like I said, I had some notes in here. This is our summertime glow up. And so we've been using the Proverbs book titled Becoming. I did share the link. I'll share it again for the ones who may have not, got it. Just really wanted to just highlight the importance of walking into your excellence, walking into, that woman that God has, is trying to, make you to be. All right. So you are definitely, in a season of becoming. What's going on, Miss Lady? And so on that note, welcome, wives. So, like I mentioned, this weekend has been filled with a lot of revelation, a lot of wisdom. I had an opportunity to hang out with the mister, and even going into the weekend prior to that, the Lord just been dropping all kinds of downloads, divine downloads. And when it be like that, it's like, I be like, God, really help me to navigate this. Help me to be able to, say it how you want me to say it. And one of the things I had been asking God lately is like, Lord, what you want me to tell these people? Like, that has really been a question that I had been really asking God. Like, what do you want me to tell these wives? What do you want me to tell these ladies? And today, after church, coming from church, like, I was trying to figure out the new title, because like I said, I had a title from Thursday from the message that I thought I was originally supposed to share, and that was it. But over the weekend, more information came, and then I was like, okay, I need a title. And so I played with a couple of things or whatever, and God was like, tell the people I can reach their husband. Just tell the ladies that I can reach their husbands. And so that's what I'm here to tell you today. All right. I'm here to let you know that God said he can reach your husband. Okay. Y'all know that I am that coach. And again, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be honest. Y'all know I'm that coach who I'm always pushing wives to, yes, fight for yourselves. Yes, stand up for yourselves. Yes, do your own personal work. Yes, look out for you, get what you need. But I'm also that wife coach who's going to also tell you, but, give him grace. Don't, still pray for your husband. Still cover him. I know he may be acting like a butthole right now, but cover him. Keep on asking God if it's, on a regular basis, weekly. God is something I'm supposed to pray for. Like, I ain't telling you to be overboard with it, but I am that coach who's going to tell you, lift him up. All right. And it's a reason for that. All right. It's a reason why I do that. Even in my sessions, when I have my sessions, I had a few of them this week, and that all added to this, which is so amazing. I'm just going to be that coach who's going to tell that wife to not give up on their husbands. I'm just that coach. And the reason being, because I know how long it has taken, on my own journey, just the things that, God had me walk through. I know, especially with husbands who's, dealing in areas of, addiction, whether it's, substance abuse, whether it's alcoholism, whatever. Sometimes that takes a little bit longer. All right. It takes a little bit longer. And I'm just going to be that coach. Just going to just be straight up with you and just, don't forget about him. All right. Like, yes, get you right. You heal, you get right, but don't forget about your husband at the same time. And so on that note, I want to just jump right into this message on today. I'm going to jump around a lot. I'm going to share a lot. So this might be one of those videos you want to come back, look at, again, take some notes. There is good news about your journey, wife. All right. There is good news about your journey. All right. Because so many are trying to figure out, is this even worth it? Am I supposed to be doing this? Am I supposed to be, on this path? Listen, there is good news about your journey. All right. And my prayer today is that I help wives to really, really grab a hold to what this is all about, what this journey is all about. That is my goal by the end of this message, that I help wives to really, really understand what this is about. Okay. Jesus is more than enough. Okay. Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior, is more than enough. All right. And there will come a time when your perspective will change. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but there will come a time when your perspective will change about this journey, all right? Depending on where you are now, depending on what you got going on now, it may not be like the best, but it will come a time when your perspective will change, all right? It will happen. It will happen in God's perfect timing. Listen, y'all, this is a direct, divine word from God himself. This ain't no Coach T. This is all directly divine, a direct divine download from the Lord. So receive it for the ones supposed to receive it. I pray that you receive it in Jesus' name. Okay? It will happen in God's perfect timing, in the right realm of his timing for your life. As you are shifting, as you are being molded, as God is preparing you, developing you, searching you, and healing you. Okay? Many times when wives think about healing, they're looking for things to just be well. They're looking for things to just go, like this is just supposed to be like I'm supposed to be getting better. But sometimes this is just, again, me just giving to y'all straight up. Sometimes your healing can be painful. Sometimes healing is a mess. Sometimes healing can bring all kinds of, things to the surface that you didn't even know, like things that was hidden that you didn't even know was there. Sometimes healing means that, some truth have to be told, even if you don't like it. Sometimes healing involves, standing up to stuff that, you probably wouldn't necessarily stand up to, or doing something that you probably would have never thought that you would be doing. Sometimes healing means, man, it just don't feel good, right? It just don't feel good. And one of the things that I always try to highlight for wives is this journey here is a faith journey. Okay? This is a faith journey. And so if you're not aware, and I always emphasize this, if you're not aware of where you're supposed to be, or if this is something that you're supposed to be doing, there is a reason why I emphasize things like that. I emphasize why it's finding out if this is supposed to be the journey for you. I emphasize, is this something that God has called you to? I emphasize, have you gotten specific instructions from God? Because everybody want to throw up, the Malachi Bible verse, well, God hate divorce. Yes, God does. All right. Yes, God does. But like I said, I've had a few sessions this past week that has confirmed what I know what I'm talking about. It has confirmed that I know what I'm talking about. God does not tell, and I'm getting worked up already. God does not tell every wife to stand for an unhealthy marriage. God does not tell every wife to walk this journey out. God does not tell every wife to remain in that type of broken marriage. And so one of the things I do as a wife coach with my clients is on a regular. And this is why it's so important for you to get hooked up and connected with the right resource, because it is a strategy to this that requires some consistency, that requires some persistency on your behalf. It's certain things that you have to do routinely. It's in the movement that things begin to happen. But so many people kind of like check in here, check in there. I see you when I see you. I come back when I want to come back. And it's like there's no consistency in that. So you like kind of like all over the place. It is a reason why I emphasize for wives to check in on a regular basis if this is something that God has told you to do. Calm down, Tanika. I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying to keep her calm. All right? I'm trying to keep her calm. But y'all have no idea. This thing has been on me. And I'm trying to be good, okay? There is a reason why wives who are called to this specific journey, there is a reason why you need to be consistent, okay? There is a reason why you need to be checking in. There is a reason why you need to be connected with the right source. There is a reason you need to be connected with the right mentor, the right coach, the right therapist, the right counselor. You need that accountability. This journey does not work well without it. Okay? I know what I'm talking about, y'all. I know what I'm talking about, okay? This is a faith journey. And what I have discovered is the reason why so many wives are not consistent on this journey is because they're not consistent in their own lives for real. The reason why so many wives are not consistent on this journey and they're not doing this journey like it should be, like it should be did, is because they're not really ready for this journey. They're not really ready for this type of faith. I'm trying to get emotional. I'm trying to get emotional. I'm going to try. This type of faith, this type of walk, this type of journey requires a sacrifice from you, wife. This journey requires something from you. This journey is going to pull something out of you. This journey is going to make you look at yourself in a different way. If you're doing it the right way. And you say, oh, well, what is the right way? This person says this and this person says this person says this. The right way is following the steps of Jesus. Following the instructions of Jesus. Following what God has said to you concerning your journey. Following Jesus' instructions and what God has specifically told you to do. That is going to be one of the most important parts of wives being able to see the results of the promise that God has given. Okay, I already told y'all got to go watch this again. Take notes. This journey requires you, wife, to be in sync with the plan and the will that God has concerning your life. Not just your marriage, but your life. Because I say this all the time. If God has called you to this place, if God has told you to stand for this type of marriage, if God has said, I want you to stay in this, you have to know this is not about just your marriage. This is something that God is orchestrating something up for your life. Okay? Calm down, Tanika. Calm down. All right? I mentioned to y'all about movement. Movement. One of the things that I share with my wife clients on a regular, especially when it comes down to me checking in with them and asking them questions like, has God given you any new instructions within the last 30 days? Okay. One of the things I do with my wife clients is when we do meet, one of the things I tell them to do on a regular basis on a day that they're supposed to be fasting for their marriage, because they're not fasting for their marriage every single day. They ain't in warfare every single day. They ain't praying every single day for their marriage. But they have a specific day that they go to God in prayer concerning their marriage. And when they do that, one of the instructions I give them is make sure you check in on the day that you're fasting for your marriage and your husband to ask God, Lord, is there anything you need to tell me about my husband this week? Is there anything new I need to know? Is there any new instructions? Is there anything I need to be praying for specifically? Is there anything? God may say something. He may not. He don't say nothing. You continue doing what you've been doing. You do the last thing he told you to do. Right? But he might say, yeah, pray for him. Pray for his heart this week. Your husband, he's not in a good place this week. Pray for his mind this week. Your husband, he's not feeling the best. Pray for his soul this week. Pray for his salvation this week. You have to be in tune with God enough to know what God is telling you concerning your husband, your marriage. And one of the things I say to wives on that during the week, one day, whatever that one day is that you're praying for your husband, or you're praying for your husband, you're praying for your marriage, check with God and see is there something specifically, okay? That's where the movement happens. Because so many wives are in their own place doing whatever they want to do, however they want to do. Like they can just do whatever they want to do in this journey. And that is not how this goes. And this is why so many people are still stuck in the same place. Nothing is happening. Nothing is changing. Nothing is going forward. Because they're all over the place. Right? They're all over the place. Movement is important on this journey. Okay? Even when once you say, well, God told me to be still. He told you to be still concerning your marriage. But what is it that he's telling you to do? He told you to be still concerning, don't go and divorce him. But what is he telling you to do? What are you supposed to be working on? What it is that he has given you to do? What is your assignment in this season? What is God instructing you to do right now? Because I hear that too much. Well, I'm just, God has told me to be still. I'm just sitting with this. What does that mean? Sitting with something doesn't mean that you are supposed to just stop. If God has told you to sit with something, there's still supposed to be some type of movement taking place in your life. Because God is still working. Let me highlight this part, wives. God is working all the time on your behalf. When people be saying, I'm just sitting here waiting for God, God be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm waiting for you. Because I'm always doing stuff. This thing has already been fulfilled. I just need you to start taking the necessary steps to get here. And that's why it's so important for you to be in alignment with him and be in alignment with his voice and be in tune with what it is that he's telling you to do. Because as long as you're doing that, when it's time for you to do that big thing, you will already be in tune and know how to move because you've been so consistent with this. You have already been in sync with his instructions. You've already been in sync with sitting with him. You already been in sync with what the things that he's been telling you to do. The instructions on this journey matters. What God is telling you to do matters. You say, well, God just told me I need to spend time with my kids. Then do that. Oh, God told me I need to be working on some house projects. Then do that. Oh, God told me I need to be preparing, for a new job. Then do that. God told me I need to probably go spend some time with my family. Then do that. Whatever the instructions that God is telling you, it's for a reason. Okay? It's for a reason. And it's going to all come together, work together for the good. I was going to church this morning and God brought it back to my memory. Me and my husband separated, and I remember I had went to go see him at his job. And I'll never forget, I think it was May 9th, because I journal it and everything. And we hadn't seen each other, hadn't talked or whatever for a minute. And I remember the Lord told me, I go to his job. He's going to see you today. So when I went in there or whatever, I was shocked that everybody didn't come running up to me and try to kick me out, because that's what he was usually doing. Like he must have had them put everybody up on game. Like, if this crazy fool come up in here, listen, y'all go get her. But this particular time when I went and I see him, I asked him, I said, can I speak to you for a few minutes? And he was like, yeah. And so sure enough, he's like, I'll meet you, he said, I'll meet you outside. And so I went and I sat outside and I was like texting my mentor. I'm like, oh my God, my husband's going to see me. He's going to talk to me. Da, 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 da. And so that ninja made me wait for a whole hour. He made me wait for an entire hour before he came out that door. And then I remember when he came out the door, he kind of stood there like, so he was walking. So he's like, yeah, so what's up? And so I'm like, well, what's up? I was trying to talk to him. I was trying to just be like a friend at that moment. And so we walked around or whatever. We walked to, walk into the parking lot or whatever to his, to his car or whatever. He gave me only 10 minutes, y'all. I don't think it was a whole 10 minutes. And so I was like, well, I want to just be your friend. I want us to be friends, this and the other, whatever. He's like, I don't really need no friends right now. I'm good. I don't really need no friends. I got enough friends. Oh, tell you, the ugliness, boy, it was ugly. And so I was like, okay, well, I thank you, for, taking the time out, to see me, whatever. He's like, yeah, because I think at the time I was transitioning through a job, and I was letting him know that I was working then, because he was concerned about me not working. And so I was telling him, well, I am working now. I do got a job. He said, well, it's good. Everybody need to work. He was just extra, okay? He was just extra. But I was trying to be calm and cool because, the Lord had told me to do this or whatever. And so we ended or whatever. He went his way, I went my way or whatever. Now, when he came to the hospital years later, I seen a video in his phone during that same time. And I was like, did that ninja, after seeing me go and do what I see on this video? And it was like, yep, this is exactly what happened. But I remember my mentor telling me, like, Tanika, like, okay, God told you to do this or whatever, go and take, some time to yourself and just go and pray and fast to see what God wants you to do. Well, I started this job. And it was like a nighttime job. I hated the job. I cried every single day. I did the job for only 30 days. But I could not understand why God had me on this job. I could not understand why God wanted me to hit this place. I could not find a job nowhere. Nobody was hiring me. It was a freaking mess. And it was like, I'm supposed to get some. I would call my mentor every single day crying, like real tears. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, please pray for me to get off this job. I don't know what's wrong. It was bad. All right. It was bad. I did that for 30 days. From this time, mind you, the whole time I was on this job, I was speaking to my husband. Me and my husband wasn't communicating. We hadn't talked no more or whatever since then. So in about August, I finally did, kind of upgrade and get another job or whatever. And it was during that time when I realized why God had prepared me for, why God wanted me to be on that job. I needed that experience on that job so that I would appreciate the new job that he was giving me that I was going to have to stay on into the remaining of the year. And I think I had shared with y'all before, like I remember one time, just before, everything switched over for me, the Lord was telling me, he said, in December, things start changing, things will get better for you. And this was that job that I was on. So that I had to last to December. This was August when I got the job. So the Lord needed me to last to December. And it wasn't until December when I started seeing some major changes in my life, where some breakthroughs actually started taking place or whatever. And so I share that to say, God gives specific instructions. He will have you do some of the most craziest things, weirdest things, but it's all for a reason, right? It's all for a reason. It all works together. And just when you think that, oh, well, maybe this is it. Maybe I have arrived. It's like, that was just a lesson that you needed to learn for the next thing that God is bringing you to. All right. I am that coach who is always telling wives, do your work. Do your work. It's impossible to be what God needs you to be on this journey without you doing your work. It's impossible for you to even receive what it is that God wants to give you without you doing your work. Wives, this is a faith journey. This is a faith journey. All right. Your husband, now this is when it's going to get a little heavy. And I hope that the Lord help me right here. Your husband doesn't have to be saved first in order for God to begin working in him. Let me say that part again. Your husband doesn't have to be saved first in order for God to begin working in him. God will save your husband in the movement. What is the movement, Coach T? The movement is as you are going, as you are doing, as you are learning, as you are growing, as you are developing, as God is preparing you, as God is shifting you, as God is maturing you. God is working on your husband in the background, wives. Hear me on today. He knows how to reach your husband. So I shared with y'all that I had some sessions this week. And these ladies could probably contest to this. And every time I was downstairs doing my sessions and, the mister was getting ready to come home, I'd be like, y'all, hold on, I got to go upstairs. I got to go upstairs because my husband's coming home and I don't be wanting him to listen to, me talking to the ladies or whatever. That's their time. It's confidential. I don't want him to listen to it, what it is. But when he know that I'm doing a session, and afterwards, he always makes like a little joke or whatever. He always, say, oh, you the coach. He'd say, look, my husband is a realist. We real people. And so he would make little jokes. So what if it say little stuff, what you taught the ladies today or what you teaching the ladies today? Or, he'd say little stuff like that or whatever. And then it'd be sometimes he'd be getting on my nerves. He'll make me mad. I can remember there were times when my husband was not supportive of my journey. As far as what I was doing as a wife coach. I can remember my husband being not what I wanted him to be, but God had always been telling me to give him grace. Give him grace. Give him grace. All right. And I kept on saying, God, this not making no sense. Like, you love this man too much. Like, do you not love me this way? Because this is not making no sense. And God would tell me, Tanika, like, you are looking for him to be well put together, everything back right before I bring him back to you. You're looking for everything to be, straight before he gets to the place that, I have ordained him to be for you. But you have to understand that he don't necessarily have to be in that place before I get him to you. He doesn't have to necessarily be in that place. There's still some things that I'm working out in him. And so my husband's not a softie. Okay, first of all, my husband, he's from Africa, all right? And so, they speak their truth. They say what it is. They speak up. And that's why I feel like he needed a wife like me, because I speak up too. And recently he was telling me, you talk all this smack, you say all this stuff, you be talking about all this trap, but you were just you're just a baby, or whatever. And in the midst of just having us having this conversation and just kind of exchanging words or whatever, God showed me something in that. God showed me a spot in him. And God has always, and I think I shared this with y'all plenty of times, God has always told me that, be careful how I speak to him, because he listens and he takes everything in. Be careful what you say to him, because everything that you say to him, he takes it in. And sometimes you don't know that some of the words that you may have said to your husband may have hindered something in an area in your marriage, and you was not aware of it, right? You was unaware of it. And so something like that had kind of came up or whatever over the weekend, where I was like, man, I was completely clueless about it, because that's not what I meant, and why it's always so important for you to, cancel those curses and, those word curses and, things sometimes that's thrown out there, because the enemy gonna plant his seed. Okay. The enemy is going to allow him to hear what he want him to hear, but it's up to you as a woman of Christ to be able to cancel that stuff and cover it in that way. And so I was just amazed that little misunderstanding, it was a small thing, but it was like something that small really could have, turned things, upside down or whatever. And, so as I'm laying on his chest or whatever, and, and we was just, having some regular talk, he talking trash, I'm talking trash or whatever, because we talk like to each other like that. So he's talking trash, I'm talking trash or whatever, but in the midst of that, God had brought some things back to my attention that he had been sharing with me, that he said that he was going to expose, that he said he was going to do, and I seen that he had did it. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So when I say God can reach your husband, wife, God has a specific timing. He has a specific day. He has a specific hour. He has a specific season when he is going to move on your behalf. But you have to be ready. And one of the things I always highlight with my wives, are you really ready for your husband's return? Are you really, really in a position for your husband's return? Are you mentally prepared for him? Can you handle his mess? Are you emotionally stable? Are you safe enough? Spiritually, are you equipped to handle his stuff and speak into his spirit? Physically, can you handle the load, the weight that comes with it? And even financially, are you able to keep moving and going, and life keeps moving for you in the midst of all of this? Can you handle your husband's madness from the outside? Can you handle what he's dealing with? Can you handle his truth? Can you handle his heaviness? Can you handle his burdens? And this is why you have to do your work. This is why you have to do your part. This is why it's so important for you to do your part. Because if you're not ready for that, like I said, some of the things that he may say to you can really throw you off. And that was something, like I was saying, that was something that kind of came up this weekend with me and my husband. Sometimes he would say something out of the mouth, slick out his mouth, and I have to, don't try it. But It's like if I had not did my work, or if I was not in a stable place, or if I was not able to handle those things, that could throw me. That could really throw me off. Wives, you have to know God has a specific timing. When he say it's time for something to happen, when he say it's time for this to go through, when he say it's time for movement to happen, it's time for something to change, it's going to change. Now, let me tell you how I got to this point. Originally, this message was supposed to be called, Are You the Prodigal's Brother? Okay? Are you the prodigal's brother? And I said here, God is cleaning house in this season. He's turning hearts and confronting hidden sinful behavior. Do you have, wife, some of the characteristic traits of the older brother of the prodigal son? Okay? Because many times, wives, these husbands come back home and they're not well. They're not all the way put together. They're not fixed. They're not saved. They're not holy there now. Some of them have no choice. Some of them was forced to come home. Some of them got sick. Some of them just like, well, I have no other option. Go back and read the story in Hosea and Gomer. Some of them was forced to turn around and come back to their marital home, right? Has a spirit of resentment, entitlement, pride, self-righteousness risen on the inside of you? Are you struggling to accept what it is in your marriage? Are you struggling with where things are in your marriage right now? Even if your husband seems to be getting away with a lot of things, more than you could ever get away with. I tell y'all that all the time. I be like asking God, like, you let this dude get away with too much stuff. Like, this dude be getting away with too much stuff, okay? This is what I want wives to understand on today. Are you the prodigal's older brother? Is that you? Many of us Christians have walked down the path of I'm living righteousness and my life is, and my life is a living hell. How am I living a righteous life and my life is a living hell? While the other person is living life like hell and seem to be reaping the benefits of the good life. They seem to be reaping the benefits, of the good life. What's up with that, God? Like what's up with that? And why do you feel like we go through seasons like that? Why do you feel like we have seasons like that? All right. If we go back to the story of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15, verses 11 and 32, we can recall the younger son demanding his inheritance from his father. He basically said, look, sir, I know you're not dead yet, but go ahead and give me mine now, okay? Go ahead and give me mine now because I got stuff to do. I got places to go. Like, I don't want to be here no more, okay? So I don't want to wait till you die. I really don't care. Just give me mine now and I'm going to keep it moving, all right? And so he basically was demanding his inheritance from his father and then leaving the home and wasting it, okay? He left the home and wasting it. Then he ended up returning back to the home, greeted by his father with a robe, a ring, a feast. While the older brother showed signs of, while the older brother was there with him, like with the father the whole time. And the older brother was like, this entire time, father, I've been here with you. And I ain't received none of that kind of treatment. Like this entire time I've been right here by your side. Now all of a sudden this dude, curse you to your face, take all your money, run the streets, do whatever, and you greet him with a robe and a ring and a feast. You welcome him with open arms. What's up with that? Right? Wife, have you ever felt like God was not being fair to you? Have you ever felt like, God, this ain't fair? Like this ain't fair, this ain't right. Have you ever felt like, Lord, this is too much? This person is clearly taking advantage of a good thing, yet you're showing them so much grace. What is up with that? What is up with that? And so today I wanted to just come on and share with you how are some of the ways that you, wife, can avoid being like the prodigal's older brother. We as Christians sometimes feel like we have the right for things to work in our favor because we walk with God on a regular basis. We as Christians, we sometimes think that, we supposed to get, all the benefits of things. And I'm not saying that we're not. But there are certain times on this journey where God is trying to teach you something. One of the words that God has been bringing to my attention, and I have been seeing it over and over and over and over and over again, is the word self-awareness. How self-aware are you about you? Right? How self-aware are you about you? Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. It's having an understanding of your own thoughts, feelings, values, beliefs, and actions. It means that you understand who you are, what you want, how you feel, and why you do things that you do. Self-awareness is managing self, okay? And taking full responsibility of self's actions, behaviors, and responses. It's the ability to uphold yourself in the most mature way without reacting to others' foolery around you. It's knowing who you are and being fully confident in God, knowing that He will not lead you astray. And if faced with adversity, it's for a lesson, a blessing, exposure, or experience. A lesson, a blessing, exposure, or experience. This is especially important when dealing with silly, foolish people. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. AKA people who are not necessarily walking with the Lord the way you do. As you are becoming more like your Father and intentionally dying to your flesh, you're going to have to be more self-aware of you. Wife, it does not matter where your husband is on this journey. It does not matter how far he is from the cross. It does not matter what is going on. It does not matter what he's got going on with the other woman. It does not matter about the other woman. I tell you that all the time. She's a nobody. She means nothing. It does not matter what you see with your natural eyes. It does not matter what's taking place currently. The part that matters is if you are following pursuit with what God has told you to do. The part that matters is how you are taking care of yourself on this journey. The part that matters is how you are managing yourself on this journey. The enemy wants to turn you into a monster by making you prideful, resentful, entitled, self-righteous. And it's easy to do when you feel justified or wrong in an area. It's real easy to go that route when you feel like this right here, this ain't it. This ain't it. But I'm telling you, wife, I'm telling you, and I share this with y'all all the time. If you allow God the opportunity to come in and change you, because so many wives are looking for God to change their husband. And you may even sometimes see changes in your husband. But sometimes those changes may not necessarily happen until God works in you first. Or it could have been changes that was taking place, but you was too blinded to see at that time. And so God had to work it out for your good and change your perspective. Wow, this journey is about you. God can reach your husband. God has a specific time that He's going to reach your husband. God has a specific day that He's going to bring this all into play. God has a specific moment that He's going to share some stuff with you. And He's going to download some things in you. And He's going to deliver some things to your husband. And your husband is not going to have a choice in this because it is God's perfect timing for it to happen. If God told you not to divorce your husband, and you have plenty reasons to divorce your husband, biblical reasons to divorce your husband, and God has given you a specific instruction or a specific promise concerning your marriage and your husband, wait for it. Wait for it. The prodigal son, the brother, he probably was a perfect example of what a parent wants from a child, right? He probably was a perfect example of what a parent wants from a child. But we know perfection is not realistic. And sometimes us as Christians, we think because we are Christians and we read our Bible and we go to church and we are, praying and we are fasting, that we are perfect. But we not. We all have flaws. We all have something that needs to be corrected. God is always confronting us. And I feel like he confronts us more because we are supposed to be representatives of him. It's not about arriving. It's about the consistency. It's about the journey. A lot of times, ones who struggle with entitlement, the spirit of entitlement, pride, or resentment, they are self-righteous people. They are usually self-righteous people. And a lot of times, it's not easy for you to see those type of scars. It's not easy for you to notice those types of things. It usually comes up and out when you are, no longer able to take anymore, and you about to explode. When you've been sitting back, I've been trying to be peaceful. I've been trying to be humble. I've been trying to not say nothing. And God's like, I need that to come out though. I need you to go ahead and explode. I need you to go ahead and release that. Because once you release that, then I can heal that. I need you to go ahead and say that because you're already thinking it. So you might as well go ahead and say it. I need that to come up and come out. So when it come up and come out, then I can bring correction. Then I can gently turn you. Then I can put my grace on top of that. I need you to deal with that though. Many people like that have tried to keep the peace and they try to be that perfect good person. But holding unnecessary grudges can come out in other ways. God is not okay with a self-righteous spirit. And God wants you to know why your husband does not have to be saved or perfect in order for him to begin doing his work in him. Your husband does not have to be saved or perfect. He does not have to be walking a straight line for him to be doing what it is that God wants him to do when it comes down to you. And this is why I'm always emphasizing to wives, do your own work. Heal from what this man got going on. Find out this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I just really feel like that's why so many wives are struggling on this journey. Is because a lot of times they say, well, I haven't heard anything. Or God hasn't told me anything. Or God hasn't given me a specific instruction. Or God hasn't given me a specific promise. I was just doing this because, I heard about this thing called restoration. And so I was doing the same thing. I was just doing this because somebody told me that, God can save your marriage. I was just doing it because of that. And let me tell you something. You need more than that on this journey. You need more than that on this journey. Because there are going to be some things that come up that you need to know that, God, you sure? Like you see what are you sure you want me to do this? Like, are we still on the same page? Like, am I supposed to be still rocking with you with this? Because what he doing right here, this ain't right. this ain't right. And God, like, I know. I got it. One of the things I have learned in like these last few months is really, really understanding grace. Really, really understanding grace. Grace is not there for you to rip and run the streets and do whatever you want to do. Grace is not there for you to run rapid and just, have your hot girl life. That's not what grace is for. Grace is for those moments that you're going to mess up. you're going to slip. You're going to fall. You're going to say some foul stuff. You're going to have a bad day. You're going to flip one day. You're going to go left one day. And one of the things that my husband had said that just like really like just threw me off. And he said it before. He would mention stuff like, I know I've done wrong, but God forgives me. I ask God for forgiveness and God forgive me. And I never forget I heard a pastor talk about that. The pastor said, y'all be praying for stuff to happen to these people, whatever, and this and that and the other. He said, but those people, they ask for forgiveness, God will forgive them too. If they ask for forgiveness, God will forgive them too. And when my husband said that, he was like, I know I haven't been, right. I know I have done this. I have done these things. Like I said, sometimes we have those kind of conversations among ourselves. Sometimes we talk about the ugly stuff, especially with me doing this kind of work. And so that was something that he had mentioned, recently. And I was just like, yeah, God will forgive you. That God will forgive you. But even when he mentioned that and he said those things, God had already been speaking to me and telling me certain things that was getting ready to change and get ready to happen. God can reach your husband, wife. It doesn't matter where he is. It doesn't matter what he got going on. I tell us all the time, like, set the atmosphere in your home. One of the things I do in my home, I like to play, worship music. And I would just play it all day long, just let it play throughout the house or whatever. The TV don't necessarily be on. We don't necessarily be here listening to it, but it just be playing. And my husband one day, he was like, I like this song. I like this song. Before, cut that, blah, 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 blah. He be saying all kinds of stuff. He said, I like this song. Another time, I would try not to, like, when I get hit with the spirit, I don't necessarily like to pray in front of him. I try to go duck out and whatever. He said, I like hearing you pray like that. It does something to me when you pray like that. Wife, you got to know that this is what God has told you to do. You have to know that this is what God has called you to. You got to know when it's your time. You got to know when God is moving. You got to know when God has a plan. You got to know. And one of the things God has always told me, he said, because I used to struggle with that. Like, God, I don't trust him. I used to say that stuff all the time. Like, God, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And remember God said, you don't have to trust him. Trust me. Because I'm going to do this. Trust me. Because it's going to be me that do this. It ain't going to be him. It ain't even going to be you. I'm just using you as my vessel to do my work. But when it's all said and done and over, I'm going to be the one that do this. So you don't have to trust him. I need you to trust me. And I want to come on today, ladies, and just remind you, God has not forgotten you. God promises it's still yes and amen. If he has given you specific instructions, follow through. If he has said something to you concerning your marriage, wait on it. Wait for it. Your husband does not have to be perfect for him to do what it is. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. Like I said, me and my mister, we have real conversations, real hard conversations. That's how I'm able to share so much stuff with wives about the man's perspective. Because I have those kind of conversations with my husband on a regular. And my husband is real honest. He's real honest. He don't have a problem with telling his truth. And so, but when God is in the midst of this, and when God is doing something, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. So I want to just encourage you, if you are in a position, in a place, in a season, and you're still trying to figure out if this is something that you're supposed to be doing. Because I hear someone like, well, maybe I'm supposed to just move on. Or maybe this is not what God wanted me to do. Oh, well, God haven't told me anything. Then you need to find out what it is that he want to say. Keep seeking him until he says something. I had this one wife recently. She was saying, I said, I ain't got nothing. God didn't tell me nothing. God didn't say nothing. Then all of a sudden, she was doing her work. She was working. And next thing you know, God said something. Her husband showed up to the house. God started moving. Her conversation from a few months ago changed in a period of time because she kept on seeking the Lord. She kept on consulting with God. She kept on being consistent on her journey. Wives, don't fall short on this journey. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't try to half do it. It's not about getting all the like I'm doing this check, I'm doing this check, I'm doing this check, I'm doing this check. No. God has a timing, a season when it's time for things to work for your good. God has a timing when things are supposed to shift. Let me get my lip gloss on because my lips get dry. God has a timing. Okay? And there's certain things that he has to work you up to in order for those things to happen. It's certain things that he has to start moving in your life. It's certain things that he has to stop you from doing before that shift takes place. But if God made a promise to you, and I'm just big on this. I think that's just part of my anointing, about the timing. This is why I'm always telling you, don't miss your shift. Don't miss your shift. God used to give me times, seasons, dates. I will always know based off of the timing. I can feel it. It's like something will come over me. I can smell it. It's like something finna get ready to happen. Something finna change around here. Like I can feel it. It be so heavy on me. Y'all gotta get connected with the right source. You gotta get connected with the right resources. You gotta get the right tools. You gotta stop being cheap and be honest about what it really is that you want. Because so many wives say, well, I just want my husband back. I want my husband back. I want him to be an Ephesians 5 husband. I want him to follow God. I want him to be a role model for our children. I want him to go to church with us. What about you just want a husband that come home every night? What about you just want a husband who get up and go to work and come home and pay his bills? What about having a husband who is there with his children, even if he's not present at that time? What about having a husband who is not hanging out all times of night and staying out, but he made a decision that I'm going to just be here. He's probably not going to talk to you, probably not going to say nothing, but I'm here. You got to sometimes take the little small steps, wives. Take the small steps. God can reach your husband. And there is a timing. There is a timing when things are supposed to change. And when that timing happens, baby, ain't nothing can get in the way of that. So keep doing your work. Keep being healthy on this journey. I was telling one wife the other day, manage your middle. You got the grief that you need to confront, the confrontation here, and you got the acceptance in the bottom. But everything in the middle, those emotions, that trauma, the circumstances, the up downs, you gotta know how to manage that. And you gotta manage it in the most healthiest way. And yes, you need a coach. Yes, you need your mentor. Yes, you need your counselor. You need a therapist. But more than anything, you need God. Jesus is enough for you on this journey. But he uses his people to help you get through those days, get through those moments, get through those tribulations, get through those times. And movement, consistency, persistence, that stuff, it matters on this journey. Because that's how you're able to go back and say, I remember a few months ago, I was like this. And now here I am like this. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we had this going on. And I remember God had said this. And you need to be on that type of journey. On this journey, on this stand, if you're in this position, you need consistency. You have to know this journey does not work without faith. Point blank, period. This journey does not work without movement. Point blank, period. This journey does not work without God's instructions. Point blank, period. This journey does not work without God. God can reach your husband. If he said it, trust and believe. I said, God, what do you want me to tell these people? What is it you want me to tell these people? He said, tell them that I can reach their husbands. I can reach their husbands. And so, let me go back and read your comments before I come off. That's a good question. Will I be ready? I pray that I will be ready. I pray that Jesus will reveal to me when to reconnect, reconsider, and reconcile. Amen. I don't believe my husband when he says he is ready. I believe that now I may be the prodigal daughter. You could be. I'm telling you, it's a few of us out there. I used to be. Thank God for grace, because I got a pocket. Because I got a pocket a few times. I got out of pocket a few times this week. I had to ask for forgiveness from God and a family member, asking God to show me. That's right. You're going to get out of pocket. You're going to fall short. You're going to have bad days. You're going to go left. You're going to say some ugly words. You're going to be mad. You're going to have an attitude. God ain't scared of none of that. God can handle all of that. God wants you to be honest with him. God wants you to let him know. And I want to just highlight, stop playing. Stop. Y'all stop playing. If you know that you're not really ready, if you know you're not really ready to release this over to God, that was the one part I missed to say. Faith equals how this journey works. Trusting is the process. The process is the hardest part of the journey. But that's where the trust comes in at. And surrendering is to his will. Too many wives out here playing. You don't really want this. You say it with your mouth that you do, but you don't really want this. You don't really want to put in the work that's required. Because like I said in the beginning, this journey is going to require something from you. This journey is going to require you to be the bigger person. God is not going to put you out there doing his work with his people and their fragile hearts and let you be out there all messed up. And that was the one thing I had wanted to mention before I let y'all go. Because I'm at my new place. Now it's been, I'm going into 3 weeks at my new place. Y'all better do y'all work. Okay? Do y'all work. Don't wait till you get, and this ain't me condemning nobody, throwing shade on nobody, or, you know, whatever age you are. Don't wait till you 50, 60, 70 years old, 40 years old. Now you mad and angry with the world. Now you mad and angry because you didn't do what you were supposed to be doing when God was telling you and probably trying to put you on back then. Don't get mad now that you 60 plus and you mad because things ain't working out for you. Okay? Don't do your work now. Work on yourself now. I think I talk about that in Psalms. It talks about, I'm glad that I learned God decrees while I was young. I'm glad that I learned about God while I was young. Don't wait till you too far gone. You running after corporate, you running after your career, you running after all these things, because them people on them jobs will let you go and release you, and won't care nothing about you. You know, I'm the bad person at, you know, when you're the new person on the team, you the bad person, because now it's like, well, you trying to come in here and take my job, or you trying to come in here and do what I was doing. And I had a situation happen recently with a lady. She was, my mom age. And the man, was like, this is your spot here. This is, you run this now. And I'm saying to myself, sir, I respect everything you saying, but I am not that girl. Like, I don't know what you got going on with your people, because I work for a separate company. All right. I work for a separate company, and I'm only here to do what I'm supposed to do. My goal every day is to get to work and get finished so I can go home. That's it. And he said some words or whatever. And that lady, she came in there after me or whatever. And she was like, because I don't know who he talking to and this and that or whatever. But, you got like little, everybody talking among themselves. They looking at you sideways. Because I'm a natural leader. I'm not a follower. And so when I show up with all that. I show up with all of me, right? I show up in my light. I show up how I am. I decorate. I fix stuff up. I'm going to be here all day. I want to be comfortable. And I don't ask my company to help me with certain things. I just go and get it. I just go and do it. I've always been that way. And so they looking at you. Do y'all work. Don't wait, because these people at these corporate places, when they don't need you no more, they will push you onto the side. It doesn't matter your age. They don't care how old you are. They don't care what your bills look like. They don't care what you got. This is why I'm a believer. And I'll tell white, be your own boss. Have something on the side for yourself for just in case purposes. But people like that who closes the door on their employees and come and tell the new person that, this is your domain, you run this. Sir, I appreciate all that and what you're saying, but I'm not that one. And then when you come in there as a boss and you come in there and you can hold yours down, people looking at you like, oh, she actually knows what she's doing. Yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm not new to this. I'm not new to this. And I'm sorry, whatever you and your boss got going on, that has nothing to do with me, man. I'm just here to simply do my job. Y'all do y'all work. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till you all old and gray. Don't wait until you don't have no other options. Don't wait until it's like, oh, no, do your work now. Seek ye the kingdom first now. Start trusting God now. Start listening to God now. That lady probably had an opportunity to leave a long time ago. She probably had an opportunity to go a long time ago. For something to change. Don't wait until you at a place now like you worried about your job. Okay, we're gonna I remember they told me that one time. All right, we're gonna regroup in 30 days. The Lord said you won't be here in 30 days, and I wasn't. I wasn't. Wise, do y'all work. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. If God told you that he's going to restore your marriage, if God told you that he was going to save your husband, if God told you he was going to bring him back home, if God told you that man is going to be there with you, do your work. It doesn't matter what you see, what it look like, what it feels like, what it seems like. Don't worry about the other woman. Don't worry about no other woman. Don't worry about no other woman. Because when God is good and ready to deal with that person, he's going to do that too. When God is good and ready to deal with that person, he's going to deal with that. Like I said, my husband, he speaks truth to me and I speak truth to him. And one of the things I've always shared with him about different things like that when it comes to about, adultery and men, messing around with, women and whatever, and how they think that it's just oh, this is what everybody's doing. It's like, no, it's not. It's not just about everybody. I said, that person is after your soul. That person wants your soul. That person is working for the enemy. I get deep with him just like he get deep with me. I don't the same way I talk to some of my clients, I share some of the same information with my own husband. Because he was like, oh, I didn't know. Like, yeah, sir, this is where you had it. this is where you was had it. Oh, this is where you was at, bro. And so it's not about, oh, well, my husband and I, we're going to church and this. No, sometimes your husbands, they're God has you there and preparing you and got you right so that one day you can be able to share the good news with him. So that one day that he can receive it from you. So that one day when you start talking about the gospel and you start sharing things with him, he'll be able to receive it. Wives, do your work. I can't emphasize that. Do your work. God can reach your husband. And when I'm telling you, when he do it, it's I talk about the sweet spot all the time. Like, I tell wives, the ones who husbands are not home right now, and, they had that time with God, it's the sweetest place. But baby, when God do something in that marriage, and that husband is home, and things are on accord, and y'all are walking in God's will, baby, that's the sweetest place on earth. When God is in the middle of it, when God does that, it's the sweetest place on earth. Run your race. Stay your course. Do what it is that God is asking you. Continue to seek him. Don't do this. Too many people doing this for the wrong reason. Find out if this is what you're supposed to be doing. There's resources out there. Y'all, sign up with Coach T. www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. I have an e-class that you can take, an e-course that you can take. You can sign up for your consultation. I have sessions available. This is the time. This is the hour. This is the season. Do your work. Do your work. Do your work. Because your husband is going to need you. God is going to put him in position where he's going to hear you. God's going to put him in position where he's going to listen. God's going to put him in position where he's going to accept the things that you're saying. It's going to come a time when he's going to have to come back and apologize. It's going to come a time when he's going to be honest about some of the things that he know wasn't right. It's going to come a time when he has to be honest about his relationship with God. Do your work, wives. Do your work. Stop playing. Stop wasting people's time. Stop. I don't have any money. Stop this. If you are serious about what it is that God is telling you to do your work, because it's not just your marriage that's going to be effective. My marriage was one, my marriage injury and my marriage pain, my marriage hurt was one of the best things that could have happened to me. And you probably say, I couldn't probably say that before. I can say that now. It was good for me that I was afflicted in my marriage. Because it taught me not just about my marriage. It taught me about the compassion for people. It taught me about the people's scars. It taught me about people hurt, people pain, people lifestyles, people traumas. It taught me how to look at people differently. It taught me how to appreciate my own journey in my own life. Do your work, wives. Do your work. God can reach your husband. He can reach your husband. And when he's ready for things to change in that marriage, and when he's ready to turn things around, I'm going to hang up because I ain't going to get emotional today. It's the sweetest thing. Woo. You don't know love like that. You don't know love like that until you go through something hard. You don't know love like that until God puts you up on some stuff. Until God brings some stuff to your attention. And he shared things with you about your husband. And he shared things with you. And he allowed you to minister to him. When the Bible talks about a wife sanctifies her husband, it's a season that you do that. God allow you to do that. But you got to be ready. You got to be safe emotionally. You got to be mentally well. You got to be spiritually equipped. You got to be physically able to handle some of that stuff that's going to be thrown at you. You got to be financially stable. Because God may send your husband back. He's not saved. He's not well. He's not ready. But God still needs you to be a representative of him. Y'all, do your work. Do your work. Do your work. Do your work. www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. I'll talk to you soon. Blessings.